Okay, so Nate, I mean, you've been teaching the infinite banking concept for the past 5 years now. I mean, how would you explain the concept to somebody who's never heard about it before?
One of the most important things to understand is it is a concept, it's not a product. And so right out of the gate, that's one of the things that's often misunderstood is that infinite banking is something that you buy or some investment that you buy into or something like that. It's not any of that. Infinite banking is a process, it's not a product. It is the process of having a system in place that gives you the ability to recover opportunity cost on your money so that you can allow your dollars to do more than one thing. And it's all done through the proper application of leverage. Now, leverage for the average person, when they hear the word leverage, they automatically associate it with risk. But what people need to understand is that leverage doesn't always equal risk. The only reason that leverage equals risk is when you don't control the environment. But what if you could actually apply the principle of leverage in your life and control the environment simultaneously? That becomes really powerful. The infinite banking concept was created by this man named Nelson Nash many, many, many years ago. And it was done through really trial and error. It was done through experience of something that he just figured out. And it's centered around this idea that you can create your own private banking system with a properly structured dividend paying whole life insurance policy. Now, whole life insurance gets a really bad rap, especially from people like Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman out there, the talking heads in personal finance. But the reality is, people haven't dug deep enough to understand exactly what whole life insurance is and how it could actually be used to their advantage. But Nelson figured out that we could create this private banking system essentially that we own and control. And essentially, what it is we are establishing an increasing line of credit inside of one of these life insurance policies, but it's a system that we own and control. It's a line of credit that we own and control. So we have the
Mm.
ability to create terms for ourselves as far as when we take money from our system and also when we repay our system. Now, the beauty of all of this is it's a line of credit that is earning interest simultaneously, even when you're using it for other things in life, which becomes incredibly powerful. Um, you have the ability to keep pressure and momentum on your money to grow the entire time you're using it other places. And the key to wealth creation is done in two areas. One is figuring out minimum guarantees so that you build a floor for yourself, but it's also understanding leverage and how leverage can be applied in your life. Because the smartest and wealthiest people in the world know how to leverage time and money. I said this today in a tweet. Leverage is the lifeblood of wealth. There's almost no one who has ever accumulated wealth, not inherited wealth, and accumulated wealth. There's no one who's built wealth without applying the principle of leverage at some point along the way. People do not need to be scared of the word leverage because if you can create a system like infinite banking that you own and control, and you can apply the principle of leverage in a safe environment, that becomes incredibly powerful. The infinite banking concept is empowering you, the individual, and taking power away from banks and Wall Street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's beautiful. And just even just talking about this idea of leverage, it reminds me of one of the videos that Alex Hormozy made. By the way, Alex Hormozy, he's this 100. He's this very successful entrepreneur, and he said there's like four levels of leverage. There's other people's time, there's other people's money. You've got media, like Mr. Beast. He's got like 100 million subscribers on YouTube, and then you've got code, and that's where you have like Bill Gates and these people who like they're very good at coding and stuff like that. But in the case of infinite banking, we're talking about OPM because you're using the life insurance company's money while your money's still growing. So it's a very beautiful concept, this idea of leverage. So thank you for that, Nate.
Absolutely. And one of the things that people need to understand is that the concept or the process of using other people's money, when we're using someone else's money to create value in our life, the rate of return has a far greater impact than when we're putting our own money at risk. If you can hedge against risk in other situations, if you can lock in minimum guarantees on your dollar, keep pressure on that money to continue to grow, then it gives you the freedom and the ability to go out and do all the fun stuff that you still want to do. Because as I mentioned earlier, infinite banking is not a product, it's a process. It's a process that gives your dollars muscles, essentially. It makes your dollars work harder so
Yeah.
that if you want to enhance your investment strategy, you can do it through the lens of infinite banking. If you want to, yeah, I mean, just name it. Like the reason why it's called infinite is because you're only limited by your imagination as far as how you want to use it and put it to work.
Mm, mm. Wow. That's beautiful.